Hey everyone, it's Dark Devis. I'm here today with a Storytime episode from the last campaign I was a part of. My friend Tanner ran it, and it's from the perspective of my titular character, Vance. Now, Vance is a very eccentric, I would say, kind of guy. He would always introduce himself for the first time as like, "I'm Vance, Magic Man Extraordinaire," and then he would have all his other titles like he got Wyvern Slayer, Wyvern's Bane, and that was the first one. And he kept adding titles to him. And so this one takes place in the first time he really got himself into a bind. We had just come back from dealing with a zombie-esque apocalypse in a village a few days over. And we had come back to the main town, and we were kind of trying to figure out what was going on. Vance did his own research. One of our other characters, Donnie, he was fighting in this like kind of fight club that was run by the local cartel. And this local cartel had a drug stash in the town a few days over. And I knew that these drugs were explosive. One of Vance's spells is Firebolt. And so, you can already see where this is going, but we'll get there. So, we all kind of convened to kind of discuss what we found for today. And we've kind of know that Donnie's got this fight coming up, so we're kind of trying to also kind of figure out what we're going to do about that. I'm level 3 by this point, so I have the spell Invisibility and I have Twin Spell. So our plan is very simple. Donnie's going to go into the fight club. Donnie's going to go fight this guy and he's going to make sure, and we're going to make sure that he wins. See, the thing is, this guy that he's fighting has already humiliated Donnie once. And this guy that's fighting Donnie is built like a twig. But he only wins because he takes the drugs that the cartel has and is supplying to everyone else. So, our plan is very simple. Donnie goes in, fights. That's his whole role here. He is the fight. I'm to go in and just kind of do nothing. I'm just to kind of make sure nothing goes south and to make sure that Donnie wins the fight and no one interferes. Our other two friends, I honestly forget their name. One was just a nameless ranger that we never had the name of, and I forget the other man. I forget our other character's name, but he was a monk wielding a shotgun. And so what ended up happening was, yes, Donnie and I did our roles. We completed our roles respectively. The other two guys' plan is to remove the drugs from his opponent to make sure that he can't take them before the fight and that Donnie's going to win. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't quite work. And we aren't able to prevent his opponent from taking the drugs. However, we did get a hold of the drugs, and we fed them to Donnie. So Donnie's now hopped up on drugs, and so is this guy. And all the while, our next plan is very simple. When the fight's going on, those two guys that are made invisible will go behind the scenes and rob the place like in Ocean's 11. And so, Donnie goes out to fight, they go in and get the money. And everything goes pretty normal from there. I, however, have the worst job because I have to make sure that no interference comes from the outside of the ring to Donnie. And just as Donnie's about to win, and he is very, very beat up at this point, the other people in the fight ring who are cartel members gear up to fight, to like throw shit at Donnie and mess him up and possibly hurt him. So I sent some magic missiles, because I haven't wanted magic missiles at this point, as a warning shot. That did not sit well, and I was dragged back into the back rooms of the fight club, where the drugs were. 4 20-foot long tables of drugs. And so, my interrogation began. And I hated it. I was not giving any answers, and eventually I just booked it out of there. I left. I started running. and they were coming after me. And they made attacks of opportunity against me. I cast shield, and then I casted firebolt. Not at anyone, at the drugs. So the drugs exploded. And I asked the DM if I could get an advantage on my dex save. Like some kind of bonus to my dex save from this inferno that I'm hopping out of because I have the shield up. And he rule of cooled me a yes. So I rule of cooled a shield from my inferno bomb that I just created, and I got blasted out of the room. The 2 guards outside at the door were killed, and 2 guards were immediately alerted, and so was everyone else. My 2 compatriots at this time, who were invisible, had come back to collect their wings. They also bet on Donnie, and they made their money on him, and also the money that they had stolen. Donnie is currently unavailable because he's passed out from his bite. And my 2 compatriots who are available refuse to help me. So it's just me. And I am pretty much booking my ass out of there. I am essentially trying to run. I'm getting grappled. Eventually, I just kind of decide I have my wand of magic missiles out. I'm going to shotgun somebody in the face with this and absolutely blow his head off. I managed to break free, but I am not able to get my wand of magic missiles. I have to leave that behind. And I start booking it, and they shoot at me with their guns. I would have gone down, but I asked my DM if I could have a moment, a last words moment. And one of the things about Vance is that in this campaign, he is the descendant of a evil king in lore who had aligned himself with an evil god. And so I had already previously met this god, and I had fought the cult that was worshiping him. And so I pretty much was like, look, I don't like you. I don't want anything to do with you, but I need your help, right now. And Tanner, my DM, gave me a dark gift. I was going to die in 30 days, but I had access to Misty Step, and I was alive. So that, the good stuff. So after getting shot in the back, I teleport over 5 feet, and I'm just I have the sensation of being shot, but I'm just questioning what the fuck happened. And I get the fuck out of Dodge, and I get out of there. I cast invisibility on myself. I had another spell slot saved due to some sorcery points, and booked it out of there. As I'm running invisible, it's pouring rain out. Vance has a love interest. He has his little sweetheart back at the tavern, and he knows that his brother exists. Her brother exists. He's not gay. I should be clear on that. I know I spoke there. Just want to make sure. Vance, his girlfriend. So he goes to her brother, and Vance hands him this signed letter of confession that, look, we just stole everything from them that was supposed to get handed to the guys, to my compatriots in this. And another letter that was for his girlfriend, Olivia. So what ends up happening is that what I don't know is that Olivia's brother is part of the cartel. And I just handed over a signed confession. Of course, I didn't care. I booked it out of town. I could have given it to one of my party members. I did see him on the way of delivering to the letter, but I chose not to in order to not draw suspicion. Of course, that is a bad decision. I should have just given it to him in hindsight, but I chose not to do it at the time due to that specific reason. If I were able to go back, I would totally have given it to him. But that's not their problem. Well, it's not his problem. It's definitely their problem, because they eventually get attacked by the cartel, and Vance eventually has to join back up to fight the cartel again. But that's the story of Vance's first bind and his heroic escape. I got, when the XP came time to dish out, I told Tanner, I'm getting all of this. They don't get jack shit. I worked for this. I worked hard for this. And got every single bit of XP. Nobody else got anything, because I was the only one doing anything. So I got out and left town and was hiding out for a few days until I went back and killed the cartel. But that is a story for another time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do have a couple announcements. I am working on the sort of campaign diary for my Dark Island home game. It's kind of like a retelling of the sessions in a shorter format. I am also going to be giving out my world building tips part 2 next week. Thank you for watching.